Yeah, hello. I'd like to speak with Jamie. Yeah, I'll hold. Hi, Jamie. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about one of the changes, one of the things that you guys are testing right now. And I kind of just wanted to ask, what the F are you thinking? It's pertaining to when you're searching for an item, and then it comes up with the items, and then it comes up with the price, the item, and then it'll say the store name. Yeah, and then it'll show the feedback percentage. Yeah, you know that. And so, but it just says seller right now. Like it's this generic, unnamed, merchant out in the wild. There's no identification. It doesn't. It doesn't tell the buyer who they're buying from. Yeah. Well, so you're testing it, but why? I can't think of any reason why that would be good for buyers. I mean, you're essentially hiding our identity. And I mean, the last earnings call, you were asked. Yeah, you were asked by I don't know who it was. Like, how are you, eBay, keeping buyers? I'm sorry, sellers from jumping ship and going in on other platforms. And one of the things that you really stressed was on eBay, we can build a brand. You seem to really think that that was a key selling point of what is going to keep buyers on, what is going to keep sellers on eBay. And I remember at the time kind of laughing to myself and thinking that that was a pretty ridiculous answer to a very legitimate question, because people are leaving eBay. Oh yeah, people are leaving eBay. Sellers are cross-listing, and maybe they're not all leaving eBay, but they're definitely cross-listing. They're definitely selling more local because items are actually seen there. Yeah, they're not really being seen on eBay. And now you're actually not letting buyers see who they're actually buying from, which kind of negates that answer. So either you were lying at the time, or you were just being disingenuous, because you had to have known this was coming, that you were gonna, remove people's store names from the search, which to me, I either think you either want to eliminate sellers from having an identity on eBay so that the buyer thinks that they're just buying from eBay, or you just kind of want to throw it back in sellers' faces that we have absolutely zero control of anything on the platform, and you want to remind us that you can take away even our own identity. So which is it? No comment. Yeah. Okay. Well, I just wanted to, I'd like for you to open a ticket, and, at least I'd like to voice my displeasure over this change. I think it's insulting. And it definitely motivates me to cross-list even more. And yeah, I'm not really happy. I think it's disgusting that you've. Now I don't know whether you're going to keep it. Yeah, you don't know either. Yeah, I think it's disgusting. Okay, bye. Hey, what's happening, everyone? I apologize for my absence. I don't have any time right now. This is not the video I wanted to make. I wanted to make this video last Saturday-ish, because last Friday I watched 3 videos that I really enjoyed for different reasons. And I'm going to talk about those videos. But I have a nice little assorted pile of stuff here to try to block out the sunlight. Hopefully that's good. I was at the longest graduating ceremony last night for Sarah. She's coming in, she'll be moving in today, and then in 2 weeks, two and a half weeks, my daughter and her son and my grandson will be here, and then my other daughter will be here, and then her partner will be here, and then there'll be it's gonna be chaos in this house. Like, I was thinking, I don't even know where, I might have to film in nature. Because my office is now a bedroom right now. So anyhow, I want to get right into this, because this is going to be all over the place, because this is all basically from memory. Like I said, I just have had no time to make videos. I've been listing, trying to get my area still not clean, but yeah. So let's get right into this. And before I start, the first video is a video by Polish Pete. He's, in my opinion, invaluable to the community, and he had his YouTube channel hacked, if you hadn't heard that already from another YouTube channel. If anybody knows anything about rescuing YouTube channels, reach out to him. I'll link his new eBay store, his new YouTube channel. I don't think that he has gotten it recovered. I'm going to pause this and check. Okay, so he did just actually do an update within the last 13 hours. Good news is it does look like he is going to get his channel back. He's just in the waiting phase. He did do a short little video on his new channel, and it kind of talks about a couple key things that people who are YouTube creators can do to maybe make this process a little bit easier, which I did those things, and I'm thankful for him to make that sort of a video, because I don't want to have to go through. I don't wish that upon anybody, and I don't know why something like this would happen to him. I don't really understand, what someone has to gain by hacking, but I guess I don't think like that. But anyhow, the video that he did last week, there were some interesting points in it, and I kind of want to talk about a couple of them. Like I said, I'm going by memory here. I remember it being a long video for him, but I enjoyed it because it was great content. He was having issues with his account. I know I've been having issues with both of my accounts at different times. It seems like when one is doing well, the other one is doing not so well. And he was, offering some potential reasons or things that you could do. And one of the things that stuck out to me is he suspects that, and I don't really feel like this applies to his account, because I feel like he's the kind of person who is very meticulous in creating his listings and filling out item specifics, doing everything, like crossing all your I's and crossing all your T's, dotting your I's. So his theory is if you had X amount of listings and a percentage of your listings had reached a threshold of, they were, let's just say, substandard to eBay. Like, eBay wants a listing to be completely filled out or filled out in a certain way, and if enough of your listings are not kind of like up to the standard that eBay wants, even though they're not telling us exactly what that standard is, which I think is unfair, then your entire account is just considered garbage by eBay. It's a very real possibility, and it's not the first time that I've heard something like this. I was speaking with a viewer a while back on the phone, and she was saying something to the effect that, every time, like, she went in and she fixed X amount of listings each day, and she believed that contributed to the overall health and well-being of your account. and that kind of made sense to me. And I am trying. I am not trying. I am doing that now. But when you have as many listings as I do, it takes a while. And I know that I was very resistant to the idea of item specifics, and for the longest time. And I know a lot of my listings are not, like, they have wrong item specifics in there, and that's why I'm going back and, you know, fixing that. I'm also, sometimes I'm lotting things up, or moving certain items on my store to Maria's store. Like, I have reasons as to why I do certain things that I do, but that is something that I've kind of worked into my daily practices. So I thought that was an interesting point that he had brought up, and I wanted to reiterate that, and you know, see if anyone else had any thoughts or experiences on that. The other thing that the bulk of that video, it's my reminder to just make sure that all my items are, nothing is going to be overdue when it comes to shipping. The other thing that he had talked about was a conversation. So he was trying to talk to somebody, and somebody like higher up, higher than the first line of defense against us, I guess, when you call in, the first people we talk to. He you know, he spent hours on the phone trying to get to someone who is in the know, and one of the representatives had said something that caught him off guard, and it did sound strange the way this person worded it. And you have to believe that the people who are higher up are very particular about the words that they choose, and they probably, well, I think that's just a good way of putting it. And I can't remember exactly how she phrased it, but she said something to the effect of that there is no internal algorithm that is preventing your items from being seen. They basically confirmed to him that his items are being seen, because he was speculating. You know, I think as sellers, we kind of have a feeling when things are off on our store. Like, I will say right now, things are off, a little off on both of my stores. Now, I had a massive day on Maria's store yesterday, like massive, but the prior 2 weeks were pitiful, like absolutely pitiful. So I don't know if eBay was trying to make up for the last pitiful week or 2 weeks, or if I'm gonna basically, after having that huge day, if I'm gonna suffer for the next week. And actually, now's a good time to point out, for those of you who have, you know, who follow this channel, a while ago I showed you those Nike door handles. They actually sold on eBay. I forgot that I even had them listed on eBay, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because I wanted to read to you the title of the listing, because I did not want to use the word Nike in the title. So this is my listing title: Famous Shoe Company Logo Store Door Handles Aluminum Home Decor. I don't know how that person found it, but they found it, and they paid $325 for those. So that was a big portion of why I had a really good day that day. I sold a couple other things that day, but things are insanely slow. Now, my store, I mean, her store sales for the year, like year over year, is basically flat. I'm basically up 0.02% for the year. My store, I cannot seem to get any ground, and I don't really, I'm really only listing on my store. I'm fixing items on Maria's store. I kind of want her store to kind of stay. I don't really need her store to grow right now. I just need it to kind of like just kind of float, maybe even go down a little bit. But my store, I went positive, or did I go positive? I nearly went positive, I think, but now I'm back down to being like down 7% year over year, 8% essentially. Just cannot seem to get sales. I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Anyhow, getting back to Pete, getting off track. This is what happens when you don't make a video in weeks. So the lady says, and then the lady hung up, and he was kind of like, "What internal algorithm?" And it raised more questions, and I mean, obviously he didn't really get any answers. He did kind of get somebody to confirm something without actually confirming it, but I don't know. My point in also mentioning this is, so Pete had a plan. So he was thinking, so I think he was going back and fixing his listings, because he self-admitted that he had cut some corners, although I believe him cutting corners is still probably better than most people listening, in my opinion. But anyhow, this is what the point in this that was extremely laughable. So Pete had a plan. I'm not laughing at you, Pete. I'm laughing at, and I'm pointing out the ridiculousness of what we have to do as sellers to appease the eBay algorithm, to try to get sales. So his big plan was to fix some listings, to go back and fix the item specifics, and then he was going to, I don't even know how he came up with this, but he was going to create another shipping policy that was basically the same as his other policy, but it added local pickup to it. And in his mind, he thought that by altering those listings every other day, shifting it back from one policy to another policy, to the other policy, back to the other policy every day, he thought that would maybe do something in the algorithm that would cause him to get sales. Now, maybe I'm missing something too, but I think that was the gist of it. Now, I have been at fault for thinking of things like this as well, like changing my handling times on Friday a.m. at 1 minute after to same day, and leaving it until Sunday, and then switching it back, thinking that might give a boost. Or I have thought of insane kind of like little, I guess you could call them hacks, but not really hacks. It's just trying to think of things to do that is gonna spur things. That was the whole point of the reset. Getting a new, when sales dip and you feel like you've got no visibility, you do a reset. My point here is, can we just sell things? Can we just do our end of the bargain? And eBay, can you just do your end of the bargain and not make us have to jump through these stupid, ridiculous hoops that you are putting up for us to just try and get sales? Like, if I explained to a non-eBay person who understands what eBay is, and I said, yeah, so I have a buddy of mine, he has a shipping policy, and he's going to alternate his shipping policies every other day, thinking that that's going to get him more sales. Like, they would think that is the most ridiculous thing that they ever heard. And it's just like, this is what we are reduced to as sellers on the eBay platform, because there's so many inconsistencies with the platform. There's so many bugs and flaws and glitches, and I'm gonna be getting to the tests. We are essentially just guinea pigs, and I don't know. You think 25 years into the platform that they would have patches, and they would have systems of how they want to implement upgrades, and that they could do it in a smooth fashion. But no. All right, so the second video, sorry, I had stopped the video to eat some waffles. After the graduation last night, we walked around downtown Vancouver. We got ramen, and then we stopped off at this waffle place that I've never seen before, and we got this. Oh, it was amazing. But we were too full to eat, but we wanted to get it for later. We're very tourist that way, and so I just now warmed it up, and it was amazing. So anyhow, the second video that I watched last week that kind of got me fired up internally was Lindy Glenn's video about how she's not selling on eBay anymore. That's not entirely true, and I mean, I get it. I'm just not a big fan of clickbait. When something says something, but it's, you know, and she basically listed a bunch of like 5 reasons, not a bunch, five very specific reasons. I can't even remember them all. The big one to her was feedback, having to baby the algorithm, like all the extra work that we have to do now, which is kind of, I'm agreeing with. I do not like that. Race to the bottom, foreign knockoffs, polluting the search, and, you know, the search, all of the reasons that she mentioned are all reasons that I've talked about. Like, I've literally dedicated entire videos to all of these in the past. It's really difficult being on the eBay platform now than it was 2 years ago. It feels like night and day. It feels like, I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like walking on eggshells on that platform, where it's like, we don't know what's going to happen next. Like, it's like we're always just sitting around waiting for the next shoe to drop. You know, we know we're going to get postage increases a couple times a year. I think we just kind of, we don't like it, but it happens. And we just deal with that. But the very platform that we're selling on, that we are partnering with, they don't see us as a partner. They see us as food. And they're trying, or cows, right? We're their cash cow, and they're just literally just milking us for every single percentage of profit. Like, they're milking our profit margins to exhaustion. And it's like, I just feel like I'm just, in my mind, I'm just like, well, what are they going to do next? And the joke, the little skit that I did at the beginning of this video, it's just, it kind of infuriates me that's the attitude that I have towards them, because of how they've constantly, you know, treated sellers with their actions. They're very, I've said this before, and I'll stick by it until they actually do something that is helpful to sellers. Like, if you think about what is it that they've actually done, how have they helped sellers be more successful? Honestly, I feel like they're missing, I feel like they're missing the entire plot to how they could make eBay into the greatest reselling site in the world. If they actually treated sellers good, not just the few people, the chosen ones, the chosen influencers that they have, that they actually treat well. And I know this because I know somebody who, you know, I can't really go into it. I know somebody who is a chosen one in their category, and he gets preferential treatment. He's literally been taken out to dinner by eBay He's got a guy he's got a contact that will just remove feedback if he gets it. Where am I even going with this? The plot. They're missing the plot. If they worked with sellers and like they could create a narrative where like eBay is like the greatest place to sell, sellers are treated good, fairly. Like I think we're just looking for a fair place to sell our goods at. And yeah, I feel like if they did marketing that advertised and, go to eBay where you can find the most, unique, amazing items, not these, garbage things that are cluttering up search. Now it seems like they're wanting to make it like a nameless, faceless marketplace. That's not eBay. That's not eBay at all. It's only gonna piss sellers off if they stick with that, in my opinion. Let me know. Would you be okay with it just saying seller on the search and not your store name, right? Like, and I was talking with another reseller about we're paying, those of us who pay for promoted listings. Now, I know it's promoted listings, but it's still a form of advertising. So we're paying for advertising and they're removing our name from that listing. And they're not allowing you to build a brand. They're literally removing that brand from that listing. Now, I don't know, like that doesn't sit well with me at all. With, if I'm going to be paying for promoted listings, I would like to have just even that little bit more recognition and advertisement of having my store name in that search. And maybe that's what they're going to do. Maybe they're going to remove the names of people who don't promote. Maybe that's what they're going to do. I don't know. But I feel like, personally, if eBay if they actually had input from if the people who were making decisions ever actually had sold anything on the platform, it's impossible. There's no way that anybody making the big decisions at eBay could ever have sold anything on the platform or ever have any identity as a seller, because the things that they are doing are anti-seller. They are against sellers. So how can you realistically run an e-commerce platform where it's obviously it's almost like they just want to like crush us? Like that's how I feel as a seller, is like, I just don't know what's coming next. And it's like, why do we have to fight against the very same platform just to try to get sales, to try to appease the eBay algorithm or algorithms that they have? They don't communicate with us at all. They don't tell us what they want. They just leave us out there to, struggle. So anyhow, getting back to Lindy, so she listed all these reasons, and I felt not so alone in like, so I know that I've been vocal. I'm critical where it's needed. Being critical, it has been needed of eBay over the last year, because they have done some things which are so shady and just so harmful to sellers. Like they're destroying people's lives, in my opinion, with the changes that they're making on the platform, where they could be like, if they were doing the opposite of what they were doing and empowering sellers and, creating success stories, not just the few ones that they kind of like I feel like the success stories, and chime in on what you think about this. eBay controls who is successful and who is not. And I feel like the success stories that we hear about are manufactured success stories. Like, they're the chosen ones. They're the ones that get sales. So they're the ones who are put in this spotlight and this highlight. And of course they're going to be successful because eBay is probably sending them traffic. This is just all speculation. Much of what I say is speculation because we don't know. But sometimes we're right. And of course those people who are the chosen ones are gonna sit there and, you know, say all these positive things about eBay. But if there were real success stories out there, eBay could be responsible for like this massive entrepreneurial spirit. Like, instead it just feels like it's oppressive, if that makes sense. But anyhow, getting back to Lindy, I appreciated somebody who has the channel of her size coming out and being vocal. Now, I do remember the title saying, like, this is why I'm not selling on eBay anymore, but she's still selling on eBay. I literally watched the video last night and she was saying how she was buying certain things for eBay. So, like I said, I don't like when a thumbnail says something, but it's not entirely true. It's like 90% true. But I also understand, like, there are certain things that you can only sell on eBay. And for that reason, I still need eBay. I'll always need eBay. I'll always, like, I love the platform. I don't like what management is choosing to do and how they're choosing to run the platform in its current state. I will stand by that. But, and then the third video that I watched was an interview with done by Tech and Sports. I don't really watch a lot of his stuff. I watched this because of who he was interviewing. His name was Tom. I can't remember his last name, but he's, you might know Mel back from Burnout. He's a reseller in the same kind of area, and they're actually romantically involved. And I've seen him in her videos, and he just talks very little in those videos. She does most of the talking because they're her videos. But I've always kind of wanted to learn more about him, and it was probably one of the best interviews that I've seen in a very long time. I like how he thinks. He's been reselling all his life. You know, you can tell when talking to somebody, like, that they have a vision. You know, it was just nice to hear his whole story. And, you know, he's said some very critical things about eBay in the video as well. And I found that refreshing. I like when people feel comfortable that they can just speak their minds, that they don't feel like they have to be curved because they're going to get, like, attacked by eBay. Or, you know, eBay's, you know, again, this is not speculation. We all know eBay has been vindictive in the past. It's extremely, it's so ridiculous to think that somebody who has a website or is speaking out about eBay. Like, I have felt fear about some of the things that I have said, but when you think about it, it's so ridiculous. Like, we're just speaking our truth. We're just speaking our reality, and to feel like we have to have fear over saying these things, it's pathetic. Like, they are a publicly traded company. They should be focused on selling things, improving the website, improving the seller and buyer experience both. Not attacking and, you know, people who are speaking out against the platform. Like, if you don't want people speaking out against the platform, do the right thing. Do things that benefit people, and then you'll have people praising you. And then you'll, like, you know how eBay's not advertising anymore? Not only is eBay not advertising, I believe that the sellers who are on the platform, especially long-term sellers, they're not speaking very positively about eBay. They're not, the content, yeah, you have people out there that are just eBay cheerleaders. And whether they're bought and paid for by eBay, we don't know. We can speculate. But there's a lot of people who've been selling on eBay for a long time. The things that they're saying to eBay, whether it's publicly or whether it's person to person, it's not good things. It's not cultivating a lot of excitement and buzz to suddenly bring in new sellers onto eBay. I know when I'm out, whether I'm selling something locally, whether I'm talking to other resellers, whether I'm talking to other business owners who may, like, I've spoken with people who sell on Whatnot, and they're thinking about eBay, and I'm like, nope, don't go that way. Or who are on Posh, they're thinking about eBay, or they have their own website and they're thinking about selling on eBay. Like, or I talk to people locally too, like about like different shipping methods and this and that. And obviously, like, it's almost like second nature to me. Like, yeah, I sell on eBay, but I'm trying to do more. I'm trying to sell more local. I'm trying to shift my reliance on the eBay platform because they are, in my opinion, they are letting sellers down. Like, I'm doing the opposite. I am advertising against selling on eBay. And I know a lot of people are doing the same. And whether or not you realize it, when people who have YouTube channels, when they're talking about cross-listing, that is a dig. Like, if they've only sold on eBay, and then suddenly they're thinking about cross-listing, or they're talking about cross-listing, and they're promoting cross-listing, that is a dig on eBay. That is like, okay, eBay can't support me, my family. They can't, like, this eBay business, I can't live on that anymore. That I have to go to other platforms. That's a dig. I noticed Thrift Books and Poshmark. I'm seeing a lot of their advertisements lately. I don't know if you guys are. It's just, you know, to me, it's just a reminder of how eBay is choosing not to advertise, which in turn hurts everybody. Like, the more sellers that are on the platform, the more varied the inventory is, the more new buyers it creates, and vice versa. The less sellers that are on there, everything starts to reverse. Sticking on the whole cross-listing thing, I just want to show you a couple of things that sold so this sold on Posh. I listed this at the same time on eBay and Posh. I accepted. This is my first Posh sale. And it's pretty, their shipping and everything is pretty slick. I really enjoyed that whole process. So I think my Posh store is up to about 45 listings. So, like I said, I only have the one store. I don't like selling clothing and stuff like that, but, you know, I have a bunch of it, and there's other things that you can sell on Posh. Now, I did get my 5th, 6th, and 7th Etsy sales over the last few weeks. I just wanted to talk about them. There were these Nike vintage tags that you got when you buy shoes. Now, this was listed on eBay and Etsy at the same time, and I didn't really have a whole lot of interest on eBay. I mean, I kind of feel like that's something that should have sold on eBay, but maybe it was just buried in search. I'm not sure, but that sold for $44 plus shipping, and I think it was actually cheaper on eBay. I feel like I get premiums for things on Etsy, which I really like. I mean, who doesn't, right? These Hello Kitty, this is interesting. So I had these two McDonald Hello Kitty plushes on eBay. I probably had them on eBay for over 2 years, maybe longer. and they were cheaper than this. Now, when I was going, like as I said, I'm going through my listings, and every time I see something that I think would sell good on Etsy or Posh, I will pull it out and take new photos and then list it on those platforms. And I did that with this one. So it was like just these two little, they're really adorable. Now when I pulled them up, when I brought them up from my storage, I noticed that the Daniel character, he had like a little something on his face, which I'm actually glad that they didn't sell on eBay. So I cleaned it up. It came off. I retook the photos, listed them back both on eBay and Etsy, and within 2 weeks, these sold. They were cheaper on eBay as well. I think they were only $35. I don't know why. I don't know why I had them cheaper on eBay, but they sold for $45 plus shipping. And then this Electromade, this was my mother-in-law's. It was in really good condition, like an electric grill. I had that. I listed that on eBay and here at the same time. I kind of didn't really expect this to sell on Etsy, but I'm like, well, it's old. It's over 20 years old. So I'm going to list it there. And this sold for $90 plus shipping. And I think it was a little bit, I think it was maybe like $84.97 on eBay. So all three of those sold higher. And I mean, the fact that the Hello Kitty sold in about 2 weeks after it had been on eBay for over, I think it's probably been 3 years that this has been on eBay. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with Etsy. I've got 7 sales so far, and I feel like they're all pretty good. I get a premium price on there. In fact, just thinking about it, I think the only one that was the same price was this Lone Ranger, this vintage Lone Ranger set of 3 books, which is something else that I was surprised that sold on Etsy. But and I think I'm starting to get a good idea of the things that I can sell on Etsy. I'll show you some of the listings that I have on there. A lot of like Hello Kitty art. I think this phone, so check this out. So I had this phone, I had this phone listed locally for as low as 35 or 40. And I think I had it probably for about that on eBay. Well, I cleaned it up, and I don't remember what my rationale was as to why I decided to raise the price on it, but it's got 5 favorites, and a lot of those are and I just listed this a few weeks ago, and I'm pretty certain that this is going to be my next thing that sells. I think Hello Kitty is in Sanrio, kind of like in that universe, are going to do well on there. I've got some art, and oh yeah, I just found this cup the other day. It's from 1989. I think this is gonna do well. It's in phenomenally good shape. I mean, it's like 30 some years old. But yeah, I think I'm up to 44 listings right now on Etsy. So, all right, we're almost done. I want to share one last thought. Jack and I were talking yesterday, Mr. Dale Stanton, and he said something which I think is actually very accurate. And this kind of, so basically, you know how we get offers to send out, and some of those offers are for people who have just kind of like done drive-by viewings of items. They're not actual people that have added something to their watch list. eBay, if you're listening, I think you should implement what I'm about to say, because I think it would increase conversions for you and for us, which we're on the same team here. So we work with us, not against us. Jack said that because he had done a reset and he had sent out a bunch of offers and none of them were converting. And I know Jack has been very aggressive in his offers. And he said something to the effect of that people are probably getting inundated with offers, that they're kind of just tuning them out, right? So if you get 10 offers in a day and only 2 or 3 of them are from items that you actually added to your watch list, so items that you were genuinely interested in, but you're getting all these other offers from things that you, 10 is just an arbitrary number. Whatever it is, if I'm getting more offers on items that I'm not really interested in, maybe I was comping something, maybe I was looking something up and I hadn't filtered my search down enough, and I think it's human nature to start tuning things out. I think I tune everything out because we are in such an age of, like, I turn the volume down on the radio when ads are on. I skip ads. I listen to this podcast on the Minnesota Vikings, and I love it. I was actually thinking over the last couple of years, I was not happy with the direction that management was going in. We kept signing this useless quarterback to high contract dollars. I've lived and bled purple for damn near 40 years. And I was thinking about switching teams. It's unheard of for me. And the one thing that kept me there was this podcast. But so just because I enjoyed I don't know, I really like this particular podcast. But they're starting to get very ad heavy. And I'm happy for them because they're growing. I want them to make money, but it just feels like 20% of the podcast these days are just ads. So I'm like skipping through this. Like, as soon as they start talking about an ad, I just skip. And I don't even care if I miss, like, I don't even care about trying to like get it to right where the ad's over. It's not AdSense, or it's not Google, it's not YouTube ads, it's their own, like they're talking about. So I just skip it. And if I miss some of the content, I don't even care. I'm tuning everything out. And I feel like it's only going to get worse and worse. What was that show? What was that movie? Was it Minority Report, where the guy's walking through the mall and he's getting personalized ads? I mean, we see these ads that are like, we're just getting bombarded with ads. And so we just tune them out. I tune them out. I feel like I have to. I don't like being sold to, which is ironic because I'm a seller. But my point is I feel like buyers are tuning out ads because they're getting offers because they're getting so many. So if you actually want to eBay, if you actually want to convert, you should really only give us the ability to send an offer of somebody who has expressly interest in an item. That will probably convert, because I feel like there are people now who are interested in something, but they may never even look at that offer that we're sending them because they're just tuning them out because they're getting so many. Thoughts on that, guys? All right, I'm out. I feel like this is a short video, but I don't know. Maybe it's average length for me. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'm gonna try and get this up today, and maybe we get some people in our premiere and have a little chat. I know family's coming over in a little bit, so peace and blessings to you guys. Have a great weekend. Have a great summer. I'll see you in August. No, I'm just joking. I'll be here, and I'm always in the community at some capacity watching YouTube videos. It's just, honestly, I don't know. I just don't have time. I don't have time. Too busy cross-listing. My death pile is at an all-time high. I've never had this much stock, which I'm not complaining about. It's good to have that much stock, but happy sales to you guys. I hope you guys are killing it. I don't really feel like I need to say this, but I wasn't actually really talking to Jamie at the beginning of this video. I was talking to nobody. It was just a skit, a bit. I think I'm going to do more of these kinds of things. I had fun doing it, and we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to have the stress of having to come up with an idea every time. But speaking of which, where's Darth been? Darth Thrifter, where are you? Come back. Make us laugh in these summer doldrums. Give us an update. Last time we saw you, your sales were killing it. Are you still killing it? Take care, guys. Bye.